Hello everyone, this is Tribecast episode 13 and my name is Marina. Before I proceed to the interviews I have recorded for you this week, I have some information to share. Tribe Tampere has started the application round for a number of volunteer positions, so if you feel like expanding your network while getting to know more about the startup life, check Tribe Tampere's webpage and apply. Furthermore, you can create a position for yourself if you don't find something that already suits your skills and interests. And now let's listen to the Tribecast guests of this week. We are continuing with our new sub-series where we talk about the startups from Tampere who made it to the list of Arctic 15 of this year. And today we're having the representative of startup called Witview. Hello, Jana. Thank you for coming, and please tell our listeners a few things about yourself.
Okay, yes. Thank you for having me here. So I'm Joona Fors. I'm a bit over 30 now, so I can't make it to the Forbes 30 under 30 list anymore, unfortunately. I studied in Aalto University, graduated from the Industrial Engineering and Management Department, like I don't even remember when, 2014, I guess.
Somewhere in this century, cool.
Yeah, even in this decade still. I lived like 4 years in China, and then it was kind of then when I understood I was working for a big corporation, ABB, when I kind of understood that, nobody there in the organization is really interested in what is best for the company, but, more focused on creating those ivory towers for themselves, which, reflects pretty badly in the results of the company or the culture there and everything. And that kind of meant that I decided that I want to be an entrepreneur. So what we did is that we founded our first company like 5 years ago with my friends, and been doing this since, and now we started a new company we registered it in December 2018, so it's like 3 months old. 4 months now.
Since you started talking about it, in your opinion, what's the main difference between working in a big corporation and working in a startup?
Good question. Well, for me, it was the culture, basically. Like I said, big corporations are basically built for protecting the company itself from making any drastic mistakes, which means that there is so much rules and, the speed has to be much slower so that, individual people can't make decisions that could be harmful for the company in the big run. Whereas in startups, it's basically the opposite, because you can't be sure where you're heading, so you need to make more drastic moves all the time. It basically is a trial and error game, which you can't have in corporations.
So more freedom and more responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And now let's talk a bit about your current startup. First of all, congrats about Witview being part of Arctic 15, and we all wish you luck.
Thank you.
On behalf of Tribecast and in general Tribe community, tell us a few things about your startup. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so basically we help people make better purchasing decisions when they're shopping online. That's what we do. How we do it is that, we scrape the internet for all the product review related data, and we kind of aggregate it, run it through an AI algorithm so that we basically create a summary of what the internet is thinking of the product that you are shopping. And we show that in our customers' web shops. And that way, the consumer doesn't need to go to Google and look for all the information to kind of get the peer review information of, is this actually a good product when I have bought it or not?
Do you also think that your product helps to avoid those, paid comments when a company hires people to write positive comments?
The reviews are very important when you're making a purchasing decision. I know it personally because it all started basically from my personal need.
Okay.
And the unfortunate thing is that it's actually very difficult to get those reviews. So it takes a lot of resources from the companies to actually generate the user content there. Then when you have companies, as you have 1 or 2 reviews per product, there is a big risk that, those reviews might not be authentic, that they have been written by themselves, those shops are there to make money. They need to make sales. And if they understand that, okay, if we create a couple of 5-star reviews for our products, people are more likely to buy it. And that's the same thing, if you are selling some private label products in Amazon, where it's a very big business kind of to get, you give products away for free in exchange, or you can even pay people. To leave a review there. So of course, when we then have 10,000 reviews per product, it kind of narrows down the effect what you can have by paying for those reviews.
Okay, out of curiosity, is it possible to give a review on your product? Do you have some kind of comment session?
No, we don't do it. There is so many companies doing that one already. So we don't see really the need to tap into that market. That was done 20 years ago already. So we don't need, if we have a customer who wants us to help them with that one, we can just, find a partner with who we can do it. Even when we talk about the same thing, basically about the reviews, what we do is so different compared to what a good company does if they do collect the reviews by themselves.
Okay, I don't know how secure you feel talking about it, but Little Birdie told me that recently Witview got some funding.
Yeah, we got basically €100,000 funding, which is 50,000 euro from Business Finland and 50,000 euros from individual investors. I think there will be some kind of announcement, which is more official later on. And our investor already wrote about it in his own Twitter, so there is no bad things to talk about it.
Okay, congrats on that. Could you tell a few things about the team which works in your startup?
Yeah, so currently we are 3 people, Markus and Lassi, who are doing all the programming, the hard work. And then there is me, who does all the talking and waving hands.
All right, so you haven't participated in Arctic 15 before?
No.
What are your expectations from this event?
Good question. It was our investors' idea that we should apply for it, for the funding program. That kind of training is always good. All visibility is good. And what we are going to do in Arctic 15 is basically that we are preparing for the actual official first round of funding, because this 50,000 euros from a couple of angels is it's not even a pre-seed round in a way. It was just to kickstart everything and kind of prepare the company to be ready to get a bigger round of funding.
If I may ask, what is the big goal of your company for the next, say, 5 years?
I think that the main goal, what we want to do, is really to help people to make better purchasing decisions, because there is, all the commercialism and has meant that a lot of bad products enter the market. People are trying to sell a lot of crap. When there is not this kind of information so visibly available, it's difficult to know if you're buying a good product or not. And then if you buy a bad product, it means that you can use it, 1-2 weeks in the worst case, or it might even broke after one time of using. And then, we end up having a lot of waste, which is not really good. So our objective is really to just help people make better decisions.
And also sounds like you want to a bit change the world and help the nature with your product.
Well, that's always good. It's always good if you can do something which is, better for bigger picture than just, help somebody sell more. Because then it's very unethical where you're working, and then you might not really want to work there. So it's better to have some kind of goal where you can have an effect in a bigger picture as well.
Right. Speaking of bigger picture, do you plan to move out of Finland with your product?
Yeah. Very Finnish answer, yes.
How would you generally comment on the current situation with the startup ecosystem in Finland?
I think it's very different from a lot of bigger startup hubs. USA is quite famous for having extreme amount of private money. If you check, the funding rounds they are doing there is so much more money involved, so much more private money. Whereas here we have actually quite good support from the government, and I think it's in a sense very safe environment to do entrepreneurship and have your own startups, because we get the free education here, so you have some kind of basis on what you can have your future built, even though you would fail. And then you have the government organizations like Business Finland, who is giving grants to companies. Of course, there always needs to be some private money involved as well. But I think it's in a sense, very safe environment. I think the mindset should be changed a bit. You can't really, because Finland is so small market with 5 million people. Here it's not really a market at all. So I think the mindset should be shifting more towards the born global theme. I think that should be something that we should focus more. But in a sense, I think Finland is a very good place to start your company. Here is a lot of talent, especially on the engineering side. Marketing, sales, well, that's a challenge because Finns are not typically very good at sales or marketing. As an environment, I think it's good. Then it just comes down to if you can do it or not. So the resources are there.
Since we figure out that Finland is a good place to start your own startup because, well, there are resources and this feeling of safety, do you feel that startups should gather together in all those startup communities or platforms, or are places like Tampere or Startup Hub, others useful?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the reasons I was one of the founders in Tampere Startup Hub. We now have like 85 people there working, maybe 15 companies. And one of the main ideas behind that one was, to have all the companies together there, because anyways, even when we are all working with very different problems, all the companies and products are very different. There are game companies, there are people making actual physical goods, then there is a lot of software companies. Even though there is a big variety between what we are doing, we still always have, similar challenges, similar issues, and when you are 3 guys and you would be working in one room every day, seeing each other, creating value is a bit difficult. But then when you can actually have open conversations with another entrepreneurs, other people working in different companies, some of them who have solved problems that you are facing, it kind of adds value much more than, having cheap rent. So you get much more value out of it when you have a network of people, like-minded people and struggling with the same challenges.
Right. Thank you very much for the interview. Today we had an interview with Jana from Witview, and on behalf of Tribecast, I wish you good luck in Arctic 15. So good luck and thanks again for having time for this interview today. And now we're moving to the next guest of this week. And we're having one more guest this week. Hello, Timo. Thank you very much for having time for this interview. And first thing first, please tell a few things about yourself.
I'm Timo Ylikomi. I'm a professor in the University of Tampere. As my basic education, I'm a medical doctor. And I've done research for a couple of tens of years.
Right. That's impressive. And as far as I understand, one of your recent researches helped you to start this startup called Everfill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because for something like 20 years, I've been a bit different person or different professor in the university. For 20 years, I've seen that I don't want to do just publications or direct PhDs. I would like to aim at certain innovations which can be brought to the people, to the community. And of course, while achieving these innovations and doing the research, of course, we do publications, PhDs, but the main target is further. It's kind of beyond these publications.
Okay, so actually making science serve the people.
That's right, yes.
Right. As far as I got from your webpage, your product, your business idea is some kind of material. I'll try to explain it in a very simple way, the way I understand being a non-biologist or non-doctor. Some kind of material that helps to feel the scars and wrinkles and some, stretch marks maybe?
Yes, because the skin problems are very big problems and they're very expensive problems in the globally. So think about chronic wounds. In US and Europe, yearly, the healthcare spends over $30 billion for all the products to treat these symptoms and the wounds. So it's very expensive. And the big problem in the skin problems and skin injuries is that if you injure skin pretty deep, so meaning the tissue which is under the skin, the subcutis. So that doesn't create itself again. So it produces a scar, which, of course, it covers the wounding area, but it's